Welcome to Lotus Living with Shar. I am your host, Shar Andrews. I have a wonderful guest with me today, Ameera, good friend of mine. Really excited about what we're going to talk about today. So let's just get into it. Our first segment is Talk Your Shit. Talk Your Shit. Ameera, tell our Lotus Living community who you are. Can't nobody introduce you like you can introduce you. So this is your opportunity to just kind of lay it all out and let us know who you are.
All right. So let me see. Where do I start? So first, my name is Ameera Sullivan, and I am a LPC. I am also a school counselor. I'm currently working as a program manager for the school district, and I run a program for students that's returning to the district from incarcerations, placement, hospitals, homeless students, foster students. So I just receive all of the students that need to go back to school. I keep them in my program for 10 days and then we put them in school with supports. But besides that, my work stuff, talk my shit. I'm dope. Like, I don't even know.
We're already getting into it. Point blank, period.
Yeah. So if I could sum me up, I would say that I'm not your average professional.
And we're going to get into that too.
I'm not your average professional. And I'm not your average professional for a lot of reasons. I would say the first reason I'm not your average professional is because I'm very young. I'm 35, but I have principal certification, dual certified to be a school counselor in K through 12 schools. I have my license to do therapy. I have different things that I can do that I'm just putting on pause right now because I'm just trying to get everything together. But another thing that makes me not your average professional is I'm a teen mom. I had my daughter when I was 14 years old, pregnant my entire 9th grade year. And I had people all along my life just telling me like, oh, you ain't gonna be able to do this. And you know, you're gonna be just like this person. And that just fueled me to just never be the bare minimum. Like the bare minimum was never acceptable for me. I don't do excuses. And it was just like, if you have 24 hours in a day, there's always an opportunity for you to improve your life. And whatever that looks like, do it for you. So I would say that makes me not your average professional. And then another thing is, I started my business, not your average professional, because people always assume that if you are a professional, you don't have an outside life. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I'm a professional, I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm an aunt, I'm a daughter, but I also like to do ratchet shit. Like, I like to pole dance. I like to, shoot guns. I like to throw axes. And that's not what is associated with being a counselor or being a therapist. Mm-hmm. And my brand is really a lifestyle brand. And I want people to embrace the duality of being a professional and just the duality of being you. And, be you.
Yes.
Because can't nobody else be you. No. So, yeah, that's a little bit talking my shit.
Yes. That's a lot of talking shit.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm here for that. Heavy here for the do ratchet shit. Shoot guns. Now the pole dance part. I do like to shoot guns. This is no,
I do have a gun license. I do go to the range.
Make that clear.
I ain't shoot people on the street.
No. We do educate ourselves, about gun education and safety. Which is important. However, it is a constitutional right to be able to, defend yourself if necessary. And I think knowledge helps with that. Now, the pole dancing part. Mm-hmm. I've tried it a couple times. Sis don't have a good upper body strength. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about the pole dancing piece.
I'm so happy you asked that because the pole classes is really how not your average professional was brought to light. Mm-hmm. So, I was dating this guy. I was talking to this guy. And at the time, I was trying to, find myself. I had just got out of an unhealthy relationship. And I was dating people. And at that time, my best friend, she invited me to a pole class. Just something to do. And when I went, I was like, this shit is hard. I got so much respect for strippers and dancers because it requires upper body strength. It requires discipline. It requires you to be physically fit. And people always look at me like, you look good. And I'm just like, but that don't mean that I'm healthy. That don't mean that I'm in shape just because I appear to be in shape. So I realized that I really enjoyed it. So the lady that I was doing the classes with, the party that I went to, she actually had classes. So I would go to the classes every Friday. And pole became my therapy because me and my best friend did it together. Like every Friday after work, like, girl, we going to pole class. We booked it in advance. Like, this is something that we're going to do together because this is a space that I needed to have at that moment. And I went there and we just left it on the floor. And I love dancing anyway. Like, I've always danced. I danced in college. My mom used to actually dance. So being on the pole, it was kind of like I got a glimpse into my mom's life from when I was younger, and just seeing, like, I used to be real hard on her, like, she a damn dancer and she ain't never home, and I realized that that's my mom's safe space too. So to be able to do that and bond with my mom over pole, it was just like really eye-opening. So Not Your Average Professional came out of that because I started to document my process. And I was putting it on Instagram, like, look what I could do today, yo. I could do a trick today. When I first started, I could barely just do the little spin on the pole. And a guy that I was talking to, he like, you shouldn't be putting that on Instagram, and you a counselor, and why you doing all of that? I'm just like, I'm still a fucking, like, a woman. I'm still a human. Why should I have to compartmentalize who I am as a person to appear to be something for somebody else? And I'm just like, fuck that. Like, I ain't your average counselor.
At all.
And that's how it started. Because I used to call myself, I'm not your average counselor. And the same person that I feel like was hating on me, he actually is the person that designed my logo. He designed it for me. And he's the reason why I changed it to professional, because he was telling me, you'll make it more marketable if you're not just your average counselor, but you're also just not your average professional. And that's kind of how it started. And I took a break from pole, but that's something that I'm going to circle back to do. I actually lost 20 pounds from doing pole, and I did it consistently for 2 years. So I was able to lose the weight, gain more muscle. I feel better about myself. Like, my confidence is higher. I'm able to embrace, like, my flaws. Like, it's just so many things that came out of that experience of doing pole. And I'm just like, I'm not about to stop doing it for nobody. I don't give a shit who don't like it. Students, district, none of y'all. Because at the end of the day, I am not my job. So, yeah.
Yes. Well, listen, when Not Your Average Professional hosts the pole class, Lotus Living is coming.
Period.
We are coming. And listen, we're going to put it all up, because Lotus Living is about feeling good about yourself. You know, as a woman, as a human, as a professional, as a everything, whatever, you know, role you have, whatever hat you're wearing, that's what Lotus Living is about. It's about that purpose. It's about just living your life on your terms, your way.
Your way.
And I'm here for it. Let me tell you something. Can I tell y'all something, Lotus Living family? Because it's Lotus Living, right? And this is Not Your Average Professional segment here. Sis love going to the strip club. Hello?
For real?
Girl!
See, I need to go.
Come on now.
See, you know why I don't go to stuff like that? Because I be feeling like, I could do that shit. Like, let me get up there. When is Ameera tonight? I'm that person that be like, can I come get on the stage with the dancers? Because I want to do it. I'm that. And I'm going to go to work the next day.
Look, every place that, you know, I've traveled to nowadays anyway, you know, I attempt to find, you know, black strip clubs, no shade to any other ethnicity. But I feel like black women are so much more entertaining. They're beautiful. It's really the entertainment factor for me. It's like the wow factor. Like, oh my God, like, how did you do that? How did you get up there and swing that way or do that split or whatever the case may be? But I just love the strip club scene. I love being around money. It's the same.
Music be lit. It just be a vibe.
Depending on where you go, the food is good, the drinks is good. And you know, nowadays, because I'm like heavy on the luxury lifestyle, I'm always, you know, getting bottle service. I'm in a, you know, VIP because I ain't standing up.
As you should. No, ain't nobody doing that. You work too hard.
Listen, that's it.
No,
you know, give me a bottle or two. But I just love that environment and just in a place of having a good time. But yeah, sis is known to go to a strip club or two or three.
The period.
Okay.
See,
so
take me with you.
Let's do it.
I think I only been to a strip club probably like once.
Girl, come on. We out.
Listen.
We out.
The pole. We gonna go to this pole class because I have a pole in my house. It was literally. I was that vested that I put a pole in my house.
I know this, right?
And I took it down. I took it down because I had it. I would find myself. My daughter would be walking in. She just go hold and swing. I'm like, what the hell? So it's not like I'm promoting sexual behavior or nothing, but it's exercise. It's exercise, and I'm not going to shield myself. I'm not going to hide myself from my kids either. Mm-hmm. Like, I want my daughters to understand that it is okay to be whoever you are, whatever it is that you like, as long as you're doing it in a respectful way, you're not making yourself look bad. Yeah. But if that's your truth, that's your truth. Yes. Like, who am I to judge that? Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm here for being your genuine self. Mm-hmm. Right? Your shirt say be yourself, everyone else is taken. Yes. That is, a mouthful in itself. I think that we get so caught up sometimes on social media, what we see, especially when it comes to celebrities, but even, other people like that we actually know in our lives, our peers, our colleagues. And, we follow them and, we're seeing maybe, some of their accomplishments and, this is happening, that is happening. Oh, this person is losing weight. Oh, this person had this. And it's like, it's so easy, especially as a woman and, the societal pressures that, I just feel like this country in general puts on women, particularly women of color, to be a certain way, to look a certain way. That is why I just admire you so much in regards to this, Brandon. And when we have discussions off topic, there is not a time that we've ever been on the phone that I didn't end with, well, it's because you're not your average. That is so true. Right? Every single time. Every single time, because it's just so fitting. I feel like, with branding, right? And we just had this conversation not too long ago. When it comes to having a business, regardless of what your business is, your brand should speak to who you are, like the core of what you do. When thinking of the Lotus Well, counseling services and wellness retreat, I get asked a lot, well, why the Lotus Well or why Journey to Lotus? Like, what is it about that? And particularly when it comes to the Lotus Well, I find that my organization is all about watering the community, right? Being a resource, being a reservoir, right? When you think of just the purpose of a well and what it does, and it is an acronym, however, just so fitting. That's what I'm here for.
That is so. I have a gift for you. Oh my God. And now I feel like I should give it to you because.
Listen, because this is not your average podcast.
Mind your business. Here you go.
Yes. So I'm about to show you all my gifts.
Yes. I love that you said that though. Wait, there's a card in here too. Okay,
yes. Before I show you all the shirt, let me open the cord. This ain't not your average professional. You talk about Brandon? Baby.
But you should read that out loud because it speaks to what you just said.
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity to do what I love and be me at the same damn time. Thank you for being you, Ameera. Oh.
Thank you for being you because I feel like it was all God's plans that we met, of how we met. And I definitely want to shout out Lillian for connecting me. Yes, connecting me with you because as somebody who believes, I believe in not your average professional to my core. And to have another black woman believe in me is like, that's all somebody could ever ask for. And I really appreciate you for just giving me the opportunity to do therapy with you under the Lotus Well. Giving me a space, pouring into me, helping me build my own business, teaching me the ropes. And this is all stuff that people try to monopolize and try to monetize it. And the fact that you're willing to help me for free, that speaks a lot. Yeah. And I'm just like, girl, the Lotus Well and not your average professional, like I love that. Like the Lotus Well to me is you teaching people or allowing people to pour into themselves with resources that you might not be able to find on Google. You might need to pay somebody to teach you how to do all of this stuff. So I appreciate you for just being a vessel. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Listen, we at the Well, this is what we do.
Yes.
This is common. Wow, because somebody poured into me.
Right.
You know, I never understood. I will continue to willfully not understand. Why is it that when we receive knowledge, training, information, whatever it might be, that we then hold on to it?
Right.
We keep it hostage and we don't share it. Why? Because you might do it better than me. That's a compliment to me.
That part.
You can do it better than me.
People don't be wanting to see it that way, and that's a problem.
And that's, you know.
And that's selfish.
It's very selfish, and I think, unfortunately, that is going to be the hindrance of our progression as an industry, as a wellness professional, as in an industry, as a people, right? Because there's a cultural issue to this also.
That part.
As women, heavy on the as black women,
that part.
women of color. It's like, listen, when I say we would do so much more damage together, I really mean it.
Yes.
There's not too many things that I could think of. I mean, sometimes my team is just like, sure, you too transparent. It's like, no, I want people to be able to have a real life example of, you know, we might make this shit look easy right now.
Right.
But it's the stuff on the background that you have no idea is going on. I want you to know. I want you to know what that is.
Yes.
So that let's do it in a different way.
Let's help each other.
Let's help each other.
If we put our brains together, we can save time and we can save money.
That's it.
And that's how I'm trying. Listen.
That's it.
We're going to do one thing at a time.
That's it.
We're going to give 100% to one thing, and then the next one there we're going to pour into you so that you could pour into the next person.
Exactly.
And it's rare that you find women that's willing to do that. So I appreciate you for being that.
I appreciate that, and I receive that. And, you know, I thank you for, you know, choosing to pour back into the well for other people, because you've been extremely impactful for the time that you've been here with the clients that me,
little me.
Yes. Because you're not your average professional, okay?
Right.
But, you know, just impactful for, you know, the clients that we're serving. You know, as a licensed clinician at times, you know, when we get referrals, I do attempt to make sure that those who have higher clinical need are put with a licensed practitioner. You know, I don't have a whole lot of licensed practitioners right now. Most of my clinicians are master's level clinicians pursuing licensure. So, you know, when I can get, you know, that training and that expertise, especially with just the vibe that you come with, I'm like, all right, you know, I know this person is a little complex, but I'm gonna go ahead and go to Ameera because I know that she can handle it. And there's not a time that you've demonstrated that you have it. Right? So I'm here for it. Listen, this is what we do. So, you know, in this next part, because Lotus Living is just really about living your, you know, best life possible, I love to share wellness experiences. Has there been a wellness experience that has stood out to you, you know, recently or, you know, in your life in general that I know that you talked about the pole dancing, you know, kind of just being your therapy, but is there, you know, a recent wellness experience that you've had that, you know, kind of speaks
this is the first time I'm going to ever say this ever on camera. But I don't give a shit because I'm not your professional. I don't care. Listen, one of my closest friends, her name is Crystal Bush. Crystal has a cannabis company and it's called Stay Lifted. And
I follow them on Instagram, by the way. Love Stay Lifted.
I love everything. Crystal is not your average professional. Like, ever since I met her when we was in college at Temple, she was so steady on like legalizing marijuana. She had a company where she took people to jails to go see their families, Bridging the Gap. That was the name of her transportation company. And she had this event last month called Puff and Pose. I am really into yoga and just mindfulness and just sitting with myself, sitting with my thoughts. I talk to myself a lot too, so if you see me and I'm talking to myself, I don't have no earphones in.
Oh my God.
But to me, it's kind of how I process my thoughts out loud to make sure I ain't tripping. And then also when I am tripping, tell myself like, you need to chill.
Yeah.
So she had an event last month called Puff and Pose, and it was such a beautiful experience seeing over 100 women come together. Everybody was smoking weed, everybody was high, but out there doing yoga, and it was a bright, sunny day, like on a Sunday morning. I'm really into my self-care Sundays. I don't do nothing on Sundays. And look, it's a Sunday?
Yes.
Look at that. But this is wellness. This is comfort. Like this, just I feel safe here in this space, so it don't feel like work. It feels like I'm home in my living room. Yeah. So I love that feeling. But that Puff and Pose experience was really eye-opening because, one, I saw so many professionals there. Yeah. And it was just reassuring, like, girl, all of these people are not your average professional. Okay. So now I'm going to be at the next one, but I'm not going to be doing Puff and Pose. I'm going to be vending.
Okay.
So come get your not your average professional attire. So that was just an experience that it was, I was kind of nervous to go because as a professional, everybody is not going to receive you the way that you want to be received. Mm-hmm. And I think along my healing journey, I had to realize that I unlearned myself. Mm-hmm. Like I lost myself a long time ago, just trying to conform to society norms, trying to conform to being in relationships, and you chipping away at yourself, all the things that made you happy to try to fit in somebody else's box. And I'm just like, I'm never doing that shit again. Like, I'm never doing that again. And I'm on the journey to refining, like to finding myself again. Like, I always had the skills that I have now. I just lost them because somebody told me that they wasn't enough. Yeah. And that Puff and Pose experience was kind of like, it was validating. Yes. That what I'm doing is needed because there's not enough safe spaces for not even just women, just men too. Like, be yourself. Yeah. It's okay to be yourself. So that was a wellness experience that I recently experienced that I plan on experiencing all the damn time. I can't wait for the next one.
That sounds amazing.
Yes. 120 women of all nationalities outside doing yoga. It was a sound bath and everything. I was right next to the. I was right. Listen, I was on Pluto. I was somewhere else. I was completely gone for like 3 hours. I don't even know where I was at. It was beautiful.
You didn't know where you was at because you was in the moment.
I was out. Yup.
That's it. That's it, and that's all. You were in the moment. You were where you were supposed to be.
That part. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, I was.
That's how you know. I feel like when you are really mindfully practicing something, whatever that might be, or mindfully experiencing something, when you lose track of time, when you're not concerned about people, places, and things around you, and you're really within that thing that you're doing, that's a mindful practice.
Yes.
Right? And I think you were where you were supposed to be. I think that's amazing to be able to bring women together like that collectively of all, not just, races and nationalities, but, in talking about being a non-traditional professional in wellness, just being able to let that go to the side. You talk about conformity a minute ago and not conforming to societal expectations. Unfortunately, society does it, right? When we say society as a whole, we're talking about individuals in higher places, politics, those who can, have heavy influence on how our culture change and grow and trend or whatever the case may be. There's a, I think, customary way that therapists in particular are viewed.
That part,
how we're viewed, what we're supposed to do. I actually ran into someone at the hospital when visiting my dad. And she was like, I still say to myself, you just don't look like a therapist. You don't look
what
like a
therapist look like.
And that's what I asked her. What do you think? She was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's what I've seen on TV, but I make sure that I tell my students that I support on this journey of becoming a therapist. Everything that you're taught in school, not to diminish our training at all. or what you know on TV or what you see or what you think you know is not real life.
Right.
When it comes to therapy, right? We probably passing. I mean, what do lawyers look like nowadays? Maybe back in the day, you used to could tell if a person was a steward of the court or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you don't know.
What do teachers look like?
What do teachers look like?
Counselors look like? People tell me all the time, like, you a counselor, you work in a high school, you work in a high school, and I'm like, yeah, I worked in high school, and I was there for 7 years. So, yes, and I look even younger when I first became a counselor. So, that was something people thought I was a student all the time, and I had to be like, listen, no, I'm an employee, and I'm grown, so don't play with me.
Yeah.
So, I'm always defending me, and it's just like, why the fuck I gotta do that? I'm not doing that no more. So you gonna either know or you just don't.
I know that's right.
But I'm gonna show up this way, and you're not gonna play in my face, because not only do I have the educational experience to prove that I deserve to be in this room, I got the life experience. So that was something that I had to really go through, because I'm thinking like, what do a therapist look like?
Yeah, right.
And that kind of shied me away from the practice, because I didn't think that I was good enough to be a therapist. Although I'm counseling all of these kids and these parents, and from a holistic perspective, I'm not just working with, because that's another thing about how I do therapy. I feel like you cannot service your client without tapping into everybody else. Like if you helping them in this one space, but when they go back home, all that shit's still gonna be there. So if you're not giving them skills to deal with the people that's in their house, you're not really helping them, and you're not really going to get to the root of the problem. So I had to figure out, how am I going to make therapy work for me? Because I really enjoy talking to people. I'm a problem solver. I'm very solution focused. I'm gonna cry today. I'm gonna cry all day today. But tomorrow when I wake up, it's action. That's just how I move. So with my clients, I'm trying to give them just, how do you love yourself? Because I just feel like when you love yourself and you are being authentic at all times, can't nobody tell you nothing about how you doing. They can't tell you nothing about you, because you're operating from within, not what somebody is telling you how you should act. So that's the first thing, is owning who you are, mastering yourself.
Yes. So
when you in these type of interactions with other people, you are solid, you are grounded. So all the rest of this shit don't even make no sense. So you're able to weed that out. So I struggle with that all the time. Like, what does a therapist look like? I don't want to sit in a room and do therapy on no couch.
Yeah.
Tell me your problems. I don't care. Let's go outside.
Yes.
Like, let's not. That's why Black people don't go to therapy now, because it's so rigid. Like, why we got to be in here?
Yeah.
Why can't we go get coffee? Why can't we? If you need to work out, and I'm on my own fitness journey, why we can't work out together and talk? That's therapy. You're going to get something. And you're going to get your exercise, because I'm holding you accountable. So that's another part of not your average professional. It's just the branding, but it's bigger than that, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to marry therapy, life coaching, and being authentic all in one thing. And I'm trying to figure all of that out. And that's why I got you. That's why I got you.
But you done figured it out.
Yeah.
You done figured it out, because you're already doing it. I think, having a conversation about non-traditional treatment, I think, is extremely important, because of the, I think, perception, predominantly the Eurocentric perception of what mental health treatment actually is. I think that is the reason the Lotus Well in itself was born, because I wanted to educate the community about non-traditional, complementary, alternative treatment. Okay, it's not just about a medication. It's not just about sitting on a couch. Their wellness is a lifestyle, and it's not a one-size-fits-all. So we are heavily person-centered, right? What works for one of our patients may not work for another. There may be some relatable, when we see depression, we know what that is on the surface. However, with working with Black men, shout out to Black Men Who, with working with Black men, I've realized and become very educated on how depression manifests in men of color. It looks very different in Black men than it does in white men. Right? And it's still person related, right? Each black man don't manifest depression in the same way. However, I'm able to identify, oh, I see.
Right.
He's angry. Right. He's rageful. Sometimes that can be, a symptom of a person being depressed when they don't, when those other, it comes out in a maladaptive way, Right. So I think alternative treatments are extremely important. You talked about cannabis earlier. The Lotus Well is cannabis friendly in the sense that we do have a plants over pills model. We're not anti-medication because I feel like everyone should be educated on psychotropic medication. Some of us need psychotropic medication. However, you need to be educated on your options so that you can make an informed decision. Okay, you know what? I think the Ativan might work for me for my anxiety. However, I'm going to go ahead and take this yoga class here at the Lotus Well, and then I'm going to meet with my therapist for psychotherapy, right? So now you got three forms. Yes. You might need all of that. And you might need all of that now. And then in a year, you might need something else. Okay, the yoga is cool, but I'm going to keep movement, but I think I want to try, this instead or whatever. Your plan is your plan. You are the author of it. Just know that it's not just one thing. You might need multiple things to keep yourself well. Right. When it comes to non-traditional, since we, talking about non-traditional treatment, you had mentioned being solution focused earlier. I am a solution focused therapist also. There are a number of treatment modalities out there in the field that we practice as far as counseling psychology. You have solution focus, you have EMDR, you have prolonged exposure therapy, which is PE. You still, of course, have CBT, which is heavily practiced cognitive behavioral therapy. There are just so many different modalities. Why do you think it's important to introduce and to continue to educate individuals about non-traditional forms? And what are some other examples of non-traditional forms of treatment?
So, I'm heavy on solution focused. I'm also very person-centered. So, just like the Lotus Well, I don't treat every client the same. I'm going to meet my clients where they are. So if you right here, I'm not going to try to pour into you too much. I just want to be a sound listening ear. I just want to be here to provide you the ear. I'm going to provide you with the space so you can be comfortable. And once we build up that relationship, then I'm going to try to introduce new things to you. I'm very big on self-care. If you take care of yourself, I promise you, everything else will fall into place. And I really feel like people don't love themselves enough because they aren't allowed to. Like, it's always something more important than you. You got your family, your job, your kids, relationships. And it's like, where are you on the totem pole? And I ask my clients that, like, where are you on this map? Like, where do you fall? Like, what percentages? They never list themselves first. Like, anybody I ask, like, well, your priorities, work, kids, family, bills, they got a lot of stuff going on. Like, when are you making time for yourself? So I'm just a reminder that it's okay to love yourself. So the way I do therapy, that's the first thing. Do you love yourself? And if not, we're gonna work on that. What did you ask me? You said, girl, because I be just talking. I done forgot what you asked me.
What are some other examples of non-traditional treatment that you found that may be helpful when it comes to therapy? I know that you like to take your folks outside.
Oh yeah, we be outside. Like, I literally, and we had a conversation about this. Now that the whole telehealth thing is a thing, like when I started doing therapy, this wasn't a thing. Like, we met in person. We met and we sitting on the couch. I might be sitting at a computer. It was very non-personal. Like, it was sterile. It was like, it felt like a job. And I love the fact that we have telehealth now, because now it gives me an insight into your life. I'm using it to see, like, what your background look now. This me being newsy. What your background look like? What you got on your bed? Like, because it adds a layer of understanding to your client. Yeah. When you come and sit in a class, not in a classroom. Look at me. I'm not at work. When you come in, you sitting in a therapy office, you could present well. You could be dressed nice. You want to make sure your hair and stuff is done before you come outside. But if you're in your own house and you rolling out of bed because you know you got a session in 5 minutes, you're going to be disheveled. You ain't going to clean up. That's how I could see she really depressed.
Yeah.
Her anxiety is really bad. You doing all of this to make yourself feel good. Let's not do that. Let's find alternative ways. So other types of therapy is, I tell my clients, if you need to smoke, listen, we go ahead and do your thing. Who am I to judge what you do in this space? This is your space. So I allow my clients to do whatever it is that they need in my space for them. So sometimes they might be smoking. If you need a drink, go ahead. As long as you're not hurting yourself and you're not harming anybody, I don't feel like I have a say. Who the hell am I?
Yeah.
And to me, my clients feel more comfortable to give me more, to open up more, because I'm allowing them to do something that is often frowned upon.
Yeah.
So to me, that's alternative. Like, where in therapy you could drink?
Yeah, right.
Where they do that at?
Right.
I just heard that the back in the day, therapists used to have sex with their clients in the office and smoking cigarettes and all that. I'm like, well, damn, you don't want me to give my client my number?
Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah.
So the way I think about the history of the practice and how it has evolved over the years, there is really no separation between you and I.
Yeah.
I could Google you and I could find your address. I might as well just give you my phone number. So those are alternative ways that I've realized that I'm not going to make it difficult for you to understand who I am as a person, because I want you to, one, respect me as a person, but then also respect me as your therapist and your counterpart. So I'm going outside with my clients.
Yeah.
We meeting at the coffee shops. We meet and we walking around. Last week I met with my client and her daughter, and we met at the library. And then we walked around, what is that? The Parkway. And it was a beautiful day. And it's just like, we homies.
Yeah.
Because I want you to feel that way. I want you to be connected to me, where you feel like when you see me, hey girl, my client's giving me hugs. It's all of that. Because it don't feel like therapy.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the greatest gift that I can give them, is just a safe space, like a listening ear. And to me, that's unconventional.
Yes. Very. And I think we need more of that. More of the meeting your client where they are. More of the, okay, I know this is not usually the case, but needs to be the case for this particular client. And I keep coming back to the cultural aspect of things, because, you know, we can't ignore that certain cultures do certain things differently. It is not a mistake as a woman of color that the predominant of your, you know, clients are women of color, right? And how just women of color interact and engage with each other on that level, and just being people of color in general. There are just certain ways that we communicate, certain, I would say, energy that it's not something you can teach a person in a classroom.
I agree. That's why I'm like, the books is great.
Yeah.
You can't teach me life experiences. You can't teach me how to connect with people on a personal level. That's something that's innate.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've always had that gift. I've always been a people person, very bubbly. I think I got an award that's still in my basement from when I was in like the 3rd or the 4th grade, and it was like most bubbly. I didn't even know what that meant.
Cute.
But now it makes sense.
It does.
And I'm like, somebody recognized that about me when I was a child.
Yeah.
And for me to still have that same effect on people, that's nobody but God. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes. Talk about walking in your purpose. You do a lot of work, even though I know that you can, you know, work with anyone. Your core population focus is women, family units, women with children in particular. In your experience as a therapist, as a professional, what do you think is missing with meeting the needs of women in mental health? There are so many programs, so many, you know, different initiatives and, you know, places that, you know, women can go for solid support individually, as a group, so many different things. However, it never seems to be enough.
It's not authentic. And that's why Not Your Average Professional is so important to me, because I've been on the other side of the couch. And I've had a therapist, and it felt the way I'm doing everything the complete opposite of the way the therapists that have been in my life have done things, because there was no relationship, there was no personal connection between me and my therapist. I knew her name, but that's it. I didn't know that lady. And I'm vulnerable enough to be open to my clients. And in therapy, when you're in school, that's not what they teach you. They tell you to not be open and to have boundaries, and it's unethical to give your client your phone number, and they shouldn't follow you. And I'm just like, but how are we really helping them then? You really a stranger. It makes me not want to come see you, because do you even remember what I said last week? So me, being my not your average professional, I do this because it's what I do every day. So it doesn't feel like a job. So I'm not telling my clients, girl, call me. Don't call me. And then if she texts me and she in crisis, or they text me and they need me or whatever, I'm like, well, I'm not going to respond because I'm not working. No, because I'm telling them I'm not your average professional. I'm telling you that I'm a thought partner. I am going to be here for you. As long as you want help, I got you. Now, but here go my rules. Here go my boundaries. Sundays is my day. All my clients know. Sorry, Ameera, I'm sorry to bother you. I know it's your self-care Sunday, but like I really need, and it'd be something real quick. And that's what's missing from those other places. The immediacy, I would say the personal connection. I would say a lot of people really need help hand-holding them along the way, teaching them. So all of my clients are older than me, all of them. But I feel like they're dependent on me because they trust me, because they believe in me, because of the things that I've said. One of my clients told me, she said, Ameera, I was on Facebook and I saw this ad come up, and she was like, I think I know her. It was a video that my school did on me so I graduated from Eastern with my master's in school counseling. And at the time I was a counselor at Strawberry Mansion. I graduated from Strawberry Mansion too. So Eastern came in and they did like a segment on me about like how important my job was, and like me promoting their school counseling program. I went to Eastern 3 times. I love Eastern. Love Eastern to death. Love them. When I say Eastern really gave me the tools that I needed to be comfortable with myself, they actually are they started my healing journey, I would definitely say, because my family is Muslim. And Eastern is a Christian university, but going to that school and seeing how they come together as a unit, like they prayed in the beginning of the class, every class they prayed over the students. I went through a lot of like hard things in my life. My sister was missing, just different things that I experienced where me as a young black kid, like I felt alone a lot of my life. To have people that did not look like me support me, poured into me, like sent me flowers, they called me, my professors, make sure I was good. And I'm just like, damn, not everybody that's not black is not a bad person. Yeah. That kind of made me feel really, really good. So that was all the way back in like 2014. So, but bring it back, because I be talking and I just be going on.
No, this is good.
But my client, she was like, yeah, Ameera, I saw you on Facebook, and it was the video that Eastern did of me in 2019. And she was like, that's my therapist. And I was just like, oh, girl, me. But it was nice. So it's like, who am I to hide that from them? Yeah. Them seeing me in other spaces, and like when you Google my name and all of these things came up, all of these articles, and they've been following me since I was 21. How am I gonna have how am I not gonna talk about that with my clients when they already done seen it? Yeah. I'm not one of them therapists and you see me outside and I'm gonna act like I don't know. I'm like, hey girl. So I tell them up front, I'm your friend. You ain't got to tell nobody I'm your therapist. Don't nobody need to know that. So I think I bring a level of comfortability with my clients where it don't feel like therapy. It feel like I'm just creating like a sisterhood. And I think that's what's missing from these other agencies is a number. Like you need X, Y, and Z, or here, go ahead about your way, and then come back when you need help. But me, I'm like, girl, I'm so proud of you. I see you doing this. Look at this skill you learned. You ain't the same person. I literally just told my client this. I said, you are not the same person I met 3 months ago. Look at you problem solving. Look at you like controlling your emotions. Look at you, even though you're giving it to me, you're not giving it to the people you used to give it to. So I taught you something, girl. Look what you learned.
Yes.
And they feel good about that. So it's like when you go to these agencies, yes, they can help you, but they don't see the progress. They don't see the flower that bloomed from the seed they planted. I get to do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling my client, girl, we in this.
Yes.
I ain't one of them clients. I'm not going to leave you. If I do leave you, I said, Shar already told me you could come with me. And it is
Okay.
reassuring to them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to keep switching therapists.
Yes.
That's a problem. That's why black people, we got trust issues.
Yes.
We got abandonment issues. Somebody failed us along the way, and I'm not going to be that for them. So I provide something that other places can't, because it's a business. I'm not operating like a business. I'm operating as a human.
Yes,
So.
as a human. And I think that's key, to operate as a human. I've been telling clinicians and, students that there's no difference between you and the other person now sitting on the other side of the screen or sitting on the opposite side of the couch or wherever you are. You happen to go to college and got a master's degree in clinical counseling psychology, or whatever your STEM of psychology is, training, 3,000 clinical hours, completed the exam, passed it, and now you're a therapist. However, that doesn't absolve you of your trauma. That doesn't absolve you of your own clinical concerns if you have any. However, you have to create a balance. You got to find the balance in showing up as a human and as a professional at the same time.
The duality of being a professional.
Period.
It's all about duality.
They want a human. I don't even teach in supervision. I don't even talk about modality at practicum, internship. I might start talking about it before graduation. It frustrates students sometimes because you're getting piles of information, the theories, the this, the that. And so it's like they're not prepared for, not coming here, for the real life issues that some of our clients, all of our clients are dealing with, because they're trying to adapt what's happening in the classroom into the therapy room. I focus on relationship. That's all you need for me.
Yep, you're gonna learn that stuff in school.
You're gonna learn that. You're gonna learn it in school. You're gonna learn it later on in your life. I don't know, in your career. You're gonna figure it out, because ultimately in school you don't even know your counseling identity anyway. It takes you some time to grow into really who you are as a therapist, who you're going to treat, what's really your niche. That takes years to kind of figure out. That's fine. As long as you show up, you talk about genuineness, authenticity. As long as you're showing up a human, you're there to build that therapeutic alliance, is what we call it. So what therapeutic alliance is building that trust with your client. That really all that matters. Because at the end of the day, unless you got a therapist that's across the room from you also as a client, they don't know what you're doing anyway. For real. They don't know, that you're answering a motivational interviewing question. They don't know, what STEM or CBT you practice in a day.
They don't care about that either. They don't.
They want to talk to somebody. They have not had an opportunity to release really what's really been going on with them. They just want human engagement.
That's why I just be holding space.
That's it. Hold space. You don't have to impress anybody.
Nope.
By your credentials, by what you can say clinically anyway. Educate your client as the time go on. Identify certain behavior patterns. We can bring some of that out as we go. But the relationship, when your client don't like you, anything you do anyway won't even really matter. For real.
Right.
But you know how impactful you are when your client show up. When they show up.
They be showing up and even got no point. Like, damn, girl.
I'm telling you. That is
like,
how
oh my
God. That's how you know.
But it feels so good to help anybody just get over something. Like something very, very tragic. But if they know that they got somebody that's listening to them, holding them accountable, like, girl, listen, you could cry today. I'm gonna give you today. But the next time we meet, no. Accountability, holding them accountable, But also tell them it's okay to cry. Like, people just don't understand. Don't run from your emotions. I'm really big on affirmations. Really, really big. I really feel like they got me through, some dark days. Like, just cope. That's why I talk to myself. Because who better than to come from than yourself? Like, talk yourself off the ledge, so when you showing up in these other spaces, all you have is you.
Yeah.
All you really have is you. So you cannot put too much on the next person, and don't rely on me. I tell my clients, don't rely on me. I'm trying to help you build these skills up so that one day you don't need me. I want to be here for support. I don't want you to think I'm the table. I'm not the crutch. I'm not the end all be all. Trust yourself. And that's another thing. They don't trust themselves.
Yeah.
But nobody telling them to trust themselves either. So I'm really just doing them what they need to do for themselves, and I'm just telling them. And they like, well, you told me to do this, so I'm gonna do that. Girl, if that's what you need to believe to do, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who am I?
That's empowerment.
Who am I? Yes. That's
empowerment.
Yes.
Right? You talked about just being a number in certain agencies, certain practices for that matter, because there are some private practices that I know that have a clause in their contract with their clinicians that say, you know, when you leave, your clients need to stay here for a certain amount of time. They can't leave either. But what happened to being in charge of my treatment and going where my clients,
continuity of care,
where my therapists go? You know, that is why it's more than important to me. You know, I tell my clinicians when they come, listen, the lowest fall is a stepping stone. Like, we're just a seed here. You know, this is a platform for you to get what you need from me in the organization, and then for you to go and do whatever you're going to do, and take them clients with you. I don't care if it's 15, I don't care if it's 20, I don't care if it's 30 clients, which I highly discourage. No case loads at 30 here. But take them with you.
Right.
Because I got another 15, I'm going to replenish that.
Right.
There are 15 more people I need to help. There are 25 more people I need to help. I would rather you take them and they continue to be invested in their wellness than for me to say, for a number's sake, oh no, they gotta stay here because I'm dependent upon that copay or you know, whatever billing. Like, that's if you get into this industry for money as a priority, like when you think of why do I want to do XYZ, if that's your first thought, I'm telling you, you shouldn't be doing this. I don't know who I'm talking to. I might be talking to you. And if I am, that's okay. Yeah. You shouldn't be doing this. Now, this doesn't mean that, of course, working, like we're all working to kind of enter that soft life, be in that soft life era, you know, working smarter and not harder. I'm here for all of that. I'm here for comfort. I'm here for luxury. I'm here for all of that. But the work that we do in life
is not.
We're doing some heavy ass work out here. People have to be your number one priority. Even if money is just second, as long as it's secondary to your purpose. The people. Right. There's no way you can say I'm in this game to get rich first. Because then I'm questioning your motive though. I don't want you carrying any of my clients for money's sake. And I live that life. You know what I'm saying? I try to model that part of it. I think it's important.
And the clients feel that when they just feel like it's a number.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
And that's not a good way to.
No. It's not. It's not.
It's a shame because there's so much stuff happening, and we all need a listening ear. We all could benefit from just having a space to just go and fucking scream if you need to scream. And I be telling my clients, like, look, girl, get it out. Leave that shit on the Zoom.
Yeah.
Leave it right here on this little platform. But when you get off of here, you gotta pick up the pieces because can't nobody live your life for you.
Yeah. So
you can sit here and cry all you want. That's why I'm solution focused. I'm like, you can cry. Face your problems.
Yeah.
Don't fake them. Don't act like they're not there. Don't run from them. Don't keep putting a Band-Aid on the you gotta let it dry out and heal.
Yeah.
So you gotta go through life. You cannot escape the shit that's to come. So, but what we can do in therapy, we can build up some skills to make you more resilient. We can do some problem solving to make sure that if a problem do come up, you know how to handle it. We can do some emotional regulation. We can do all of that because that's what frustrates people. When you don't know how to handle your emotions because you feel like life just keep lifing, you need some tools.
Yeah.
You need some tools. So what better way to do it than in a space where you feel comfortable with somebody that look like you?
Yes.
So that's really what I be trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's important. Speaking of non-traditional spaces to process emotions, the Lotus Well have partnered with Rage Room Philly. Shout out to Kia Toll at Rage Room Philly. Hey, that's my girl. Love her to death. But rage rooms are normally places that people go to like rage out, break shit, glass, throw glass, take bats and crowbars and whatnot and just go ham. And one of the things that I was thinking when looking at rage rooms is that physically certain things happen when a person has that adrenaline pumping, right? And so you go in, you rage out, and then a lot of people do it for entertainment, some people do it for therapeutic purposes, and then we send you back out on the street. High on adrenaline, basically, right?
Exactly.
There has to be a step down. So we created a space, therapeutic rage. It's called The Breaking Point. We meet every Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. You can go onto Rage Room Philly and book. But there are mental health professionals there, right?
That's so
to support
decent.
a person.
That's crazy.
While they're there, right? You go in, rage out like you normally would. We still on the mic, hyping you up. You experiencing a breakup or whatever the case may be.
Some kids,
whatever.
Yeah, all that. And then you get it out. And
You get it out, right? And then you sit, right? We all about, release, process, regroup.
Love that.
You sit, and we're there to support you. We're not there. This is not therapy, right? We're there to hug you. Sometimes you need a hug after releasing that shit. Sometimes you just need a minute to sit. Maybe you need a snack. Got some snacks for you. Got some water. What you need. Maybe you just need time to think about what you just did, what you just released, right? You process it. Maybe you need us to talk to you. Maybe you need us to listen.
You can have a therapy session scheduled for after that.
After that, right? Because we giving you resources, we giving you referrals. You think this is something you need. Listen, if you need to come back and do this again, we here next week. Continue to come back, and then we regroup. So we don't send you out on the street. It's like, okay, it's symbolic of what you're leaving there. But just like you said, you can't avoid it, right? It's not going to fix it. However, it's the start. Right. Talk about non-traditional, so look at that. The breaking point.
The breaking point. Rage Room Philly.
Rage Room Philly, yes. So what can we do as folks who are, hyper non-traditional, meeting clients where they are person-centered? What can we do to make these options accessible to the community and more inclusive to the groups that, I feel like everybody needs them, but particularly to, our Black and brown communities, our other communities of color? What do you think we can do to, kind of make it more accessible?
I would just say your presence, just showing up in different spaces where there's a need. And oftentimes it takes for a person like us to show up in these spaces to say that it's okay. And that's why I love having the balance of working with adults through the Lotus Well and then also working with students at the school district, because when they see me, they don't see me as a therapist. I'm in there like, yo, what's up? You see, I'm from North Philly.
Yeah.
So
North Philly, all that. Shout
out to North Philly. Listen, I'm from North Philly first. I be telling people, I work at the school district. Don't play with me though, because I'm straight from North Philly. So just that relatability with students, they want people that they can connect with. If you can connect with anybody, you can help them. But if you feel closed off and they're not gonna want to talk to you. So being present in these spaces where people really need support, is too much stuff happening in the city for all of the good therapists and people to just go hide in the corner and be like, well, they ain't paying me. It's not about that. It's about, do you care?
Yes.
Do you fucking care about the state of the city? Do you care about the people? Do you care about people that look like you? Do you care about children? If you care about children, then you gotta care about their moms.
Yeah.
You gotta care about their families, and that goes back to when we first started talking. You cannot just serve as one person. I got a client right now. She in therapy for her, but I'm like, girl, your son need help.
Yeah.
How can I help you help your son?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do? So I love the fact that I feel like I'm very well rounded in a lot of areas. And I always tell people, I joke, like I know a lot. I know a little bit about a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't know, because you asked me something that I don't know now, I'm going to go learn it. So the next time somebody asks me, I'm going to know a little bit.
Yeah.
So being able to connect the dots for people that don't have the resources to find the resources.
Yes.
How you want to look up some resources and you don't got a computer? How you want to look up something if you don't know how to work the phone?
Yes.
So it's like when you have a person that you trust, 2, you feel comfortable asking for help. People don't feel comfortable asking for help. People don't feel comfortable just saying, damn, I don't know how to do this. It needs to be more people that are willing to go the extra mile.
Yes.
Not for the money, but because you actually care. That's what's needed.
Absolutely. This next segment, I plop it in here at times. At Lotus Living, we all about, education, and at the end of the day, I try to, incorporate things that are happening in the communities, in the world, in pop culture. We call it wellness in the street.
Wellness in the street.
Wellness in the streets. And just recently, you familiar with Carly Russell? Carly Russell is the young lady who pretty much lied about being kidnapped by some folks, and it was all a hoax. She did not get kidnapped. She did not, get hurt in any way. We found out that wasn't the case. So she just recently, pled guilty and was sentenced to 12 months of supervised probation. And she has to pay $18,000 in restitution to, the court in Alabama. And that is where she's from. With working, your work with women of color, young girls, even in your own life experience with having a sister missing at one time, and even in your work, right? One of the things that really impacted me about the Carly Russell story is that when it initially occurred, I remember how on social media they were extremely supportive, pushing the envelope for finding her, right? Bringing the attention that would be necessary for any of our women of color. Women in general, but we know women of color go missing and nobody say anything. So with, having social media, I mean, they were on it. Right?
Celebrities,
influencers. I mean, they were on it, trying to hold the state of Alabama, their city that she was from at the time, this whatever city it was in Alabama, I can't remember. Hey, find our girl, because the circumstances was just like so like what the hell, it's a baby, where's the baby? It was so much going on.
Right.
Then to find that it wasn't true, right? I've seen a lot of opinions about her, and one of the things that triggered me a little bit about the Black community is that I feel like a lot of times, and I'm going to say this, I don't really care, because this is Lotus Living, as to who gets rubbed the wrong way, whose feathers are ruffled. Right. Because I'm going to just call a fucking spade at this point. We straddle the fucking fence, Black people. We're in and then we're out, right? My thing is, I get what everybody else is doing. I get that white women have gotten away with X, Y, Z. I don't feel like that absolves us of our responsibility for each other.
Right.
And unfortunately, I felt, and I expressed this at the time because I was totally disgusted, right? That this was so detrimental to all of the other Black women and girls who were missing, who are still missing, who didn't run away. We know that for sure.
Right.
Who we don't even know is still alive.
Right.
the resources, the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking Alabama now too, right? So now we're talking the South. You don't call these fucking white people to the carpet to find someone.
To publicly embarrass all of us, a whole yeah.
What are your thoughts?
So for me, I feel you, because I was irritated too. And this is not why I got off social media, but it leads to like one of the reasons why it's just like I gotta stay off of social media, because that is a fake space.
Oh yeah.
I feel like social media has been so detrimental to the world. It's like you sucked in, and once you sucked in too much, it's like you gotta keep constantly performing. So that girl probably thought, damn, I took it too far, but now it's out. I can't even retract what I said, because I didn't think it was gonna go this far. So one, I appreciate social media for doing too much, but then I also everybody just did too much. And I feel like with her, you embarrassed the shit out of all of us. Just complete embarrassment. All over a man that did not want you. And you got this man out here looking for you. So my thing with the Carly Russell, and I don't even be getting into stuff like this, because I feel like everybody has an opinion. And my opinion is my opinion. But I do feel like she messed it up for a lot of people. Like when my sister was missing. My sister was missing, but she was missing because she crazy. She was crazy. Rest in peace to Tori, because my sister actually died.
Rest in peace.
But my sister went out with a bang. Like, she was always this. We always knew the type of person she was. My sister was the type of person where she believed that sex workers deserved health care. She liked the life that she lived. So it would be periods of time where we didn't know where she was. But it's like, all right, we didn't get a phone call from jail. Tori is cool. So even though my sister is dead, I don't feel like she's actually dead. I feel like she out here living her Bonnie and Clyde life, because that's the life that she was living leading all the way up to her death. Whereas Carly, like, girl, you in school, you a nurse, you doing all of these positive things. We trying to rally behind you, because there's not a lot of, we never get support.
Yeah.
We never get support. Just like you said, just for you to be lying, that shit hurt.
Yeah.
And it makes it even more embarrassing, because you got all of these people giving money, they out looking for you, and you, why the fuck, sorry.
Yes, no.
Why the fuck did you have snacks? That pissed me off. Like, bitch, you went to the store first? You went to the store and got snacks before it's just embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's really embarrassing. But as a clinician, there's more women that's going through similar things over men. I got clients right now that's struggling with breakups and all this other stuff. So who do they have to really talk them through this type of stuff? This is why therapy is important. This is why having a network and having support is important, because if you got people that you trust with your deepest, most darkest shit, they're going to be the person that's going to hold you accountable to not do no dumb shit like what Carly did.
Yeah.
So Carly she might have had family, she might have had friends, but she didn't have nobody in her corner that she trusted enough to say you doing too much, or this is what I'm planning on doing, and talking her off the ledge.
Yeah.
So I really feel like she didn't have support to deal with whatever she was going through. I feel bad for her, because I don't think she probably meant for it to be this tragic.
Yeah.
But now, girl, you cannot take it back, and this is why we got to be smart about the choices that we make. Every action has a reaction.
Yes.
And everybody has a choice.
Yes.
But if you don't know that you have a choice because nobody ever told you had a choice, then what the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're going to act off of impulse. You're going to do whatever you feel like, he don't want me, I'm going to go say I'm missing.
Yeah.
Versus, girl, he don't want me, what should I do?
Yeah.
Where your friends at?
Yes.
That's the first thing.
Yes.
That's like one of the
That
first
part.
things I ask my clients. Like, do you have friends? Do you have sisters? Do you have a good relationship with your mom? And usually it'd be, I got people, but I don't talk to them that much. If you don't have somebody that you could tell everything to, you ain't safe.
Yeah.
You don't have a safe space.
Yeah.
And I feel like she probably just didn't have a safe space.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for her.
Yeah.
Because now, bitch, you done went to school to be a nurse, and you probably never even get to be a nurse.
Yeah.
You probably never even, anywhere you go is public embarrassment.
Yes.
What do you do with that?
Yeah. And do let me add this. she will bounce back, right? Bouncing back is a choice, though. You dealt yourself a couple hands that now you gotta play.
And you gotta stand on it.
So it doesn't mean that, life is completely over. I feel like, when we look at certain stories and things happening, worse shit has occurred. However, it doesn't take away the fact that what happened to us holding each other accountable.
Right.
At the end of the day, she shouldn't get a fucking pass.
Right.
Point blank.
And the jail don't even want her ass. I read the other day that they said that the judge said it would be a waste of resources to even put you in. That's it. That's even worse. The fucking jail don't want you. Your man don't want you, and the jail don't want you. You just did all that for nothing. You don't even go to jail.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen.
Ciao.
Ladies and gentlemen. It's not worth it.
I was going to say the same thing.
Because, what I wanted to say, I'm not going to say.
It's not worth it.
I'm not going to say it in the way that I was going to say it. I'm going to just say, go where you're wanted. A man is not worth it. A woman is not worth it.
Nope.
It's not worth your freedom. It's not worth your peace.
That part.
Where there's another man, where he was, there are many more. Where a woman was, there are many, many more.
Yes.
Please. And it's a layered issue clinically, right? Because of course, sometimes we go into our clinical bag when we hear certain stories like, that was a cake baking way before she went missing.
Yeah.
Because to go to that extreme says a lot about how she felt about herself.
That part.
So I need y'all to really understand, in everything that you talked about today, it is really about loving and accepting yourself.
Be you, because
unapologetically,
yes. Unapologetically,
unconditionally.
Yes.
So we're talking about the shit you don't like, the shit you do like, the shit you love, the shit you improving on. We're talking about it all. You have to really accept it.
Yep.
Acknowledge it.
Embrace it.
Own that shit.
Own it. Own all. I literally just told my sister yesterday. Every day I wake up and I tell myself I am so grateful. And it's God be knowing. That's one of my things I be telling myself. God be knowing. I think I got a tattoo. Whatever. I got a tattoo on my back. It say blessed. I got it when I was in college. I probably was like 20. But it's really big. It take up my whole back. It say blessed. And there's a rose and then the vine spells out blessed on my back.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I got it, right? But let me tell you why I got it. Because I said, you know how slaves used to get hit with the whip? Don't ask me why the fuck I be using that analogy. Because the blessed is that way on my back, like it's this way. I don't know why. I was crazy. But literally, I don't know why I got it. But now I'm glad that I have it because it's a permanent reminder that I am blessed. Like my life could be completely different if one thing was different. So I'm grateful. I'm appreciative of my struggle and everything I went through in my life to get me to where I am today. I own that shit. That's why my story is public, because I'm not embarrassed by it. Yeah. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of having a mom that used to be a dancer because she instilled it in me. I love dancing. Shout out to my mom.
Shout out to my mom.
Having my daughter when I was getting pregnant when I was 13, my 9th grade year, being pregnant my whole 9th grade year, having my daughter when I was 14, I ain't miss a beat though. I went right back to 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, then Penn State, then Temple, then Eastern, 3 times. And I'm 35. So everything that I went through led me up to this point.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful. I wake up every day, I'm thankful I got all my fingers. I got all my toes. I be talking to God like, God, thank you. Like, because it could always be worse. And I remind my clients that, like, while you sit here complaining, you got a house, you got money, you got the ability to even come to fucking therapy.
Yeah.
You got medical insurance. There's people out here that's sleeping on the street, that don't have no family, don't have anything. So, although your situation is what it is, it could always be worse. And I remind people that. So, we get to dwell on all of the negative shit, but be grateful. Be grateful. Just be grateful. Be grateful.
Gratitude is a tool.
Yeah.
It is imperative to just be grateful. I have myself been working on seeing the glass always half full versus half empty. Yep. You know, even when it comes to difficult things, you know, just really evaluating, you know, and noting for myself, you know, okay, this is a good problem.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This is a good problem to have. I recall, you know, going through some things with the property that I own here that we're taping it right now. And it just was like all these issues that, you know, I gotta fix this. I gotta pay, you know, thousands of dollars for that. And the township is giving me a hard way to go with this. But these are good problems.
They're yours. You own this fucking building.
Right.
So?
I mean, what about those who don't have hot water or have, you know, a place to go or to work or to wherever? And it's just like, you know, I gotta start really, really tapping into, you know, I consider myself a grateful person, but I need to be mindfully grateful.
Let's do a number.
Let's do a number.
Yeah, so I am writing a book. Did I tell you?
No, you did not.
Sorry, I didn't tell you. I'm writing a book of, I call them Ameera-isms. And they all are things that I live by. Like words that I tell myself. So whenever I feel moved to do it, I keep them all in my phone. So right now I have probably like 300 and like something. So the way I do them is kind of not like a tarot card, but kind of like a tarot card. You tell me a number that resonates with you, and then I'll read you your Ameera-ism. Be intentional.
I'm being intentional.
Okay.
Let's go with 35.
And then, now mind you, this is all stuff that I told myself. Now, however it resonates with you, is yours.
Yeah.
All right, so you said 35. You is alive. What you ain't doing?
What?
Yours says carpe diem.
Ooh. Brad, she's speaking into my life right now, Brad. Brad, the camera. Carpe diem.
Yeah.
Oh. Living. To seize the day.
Seize the day. Yeah. Every day is a new opportunity to be a better you. Every single day. Yesterday don't even fucking care. It don't matter. It don't count. Because you have today and you have the opportunity to plan for a better tomorrow. So why we keep looking back? I had to tell myself that.
Seize the day. Oh, she just read me fulfilled with 2 words. Like, I'm feeling some type of way. But I think, oh God, yeah. I think it's telling. I think it's on purpose that's was there. Because I think it's something that I'm being challenged to do.
Yeah.
To seize
What's
the
on
day.
your plate?
What's on my plate?
Yep.
You can only fit with so much on it.
And knowing when some shit got get scraped off and going in trash is very important. I feel like we as people, I can't speak about no other race other than black women. And I know from me being a black woman, having a black mother, having black aunts, black sisters, black students and their families, that we take on a lot of shit. We don't never scrape nothing off. And that's how we always end up at the bottom of the totem pole. So now, everything start with me. What's on your plate? Me. Fucking me. Me. Like, I think I just told you yesterday. So self-care Sundays is my thing, but this week is spring break for the schools, for the school district. And why I gotta go to work? Why am I at work? I'm irritated that I gotta go to work and I'm not gonna have no students, no program, but I'm taking a mental health day. So I hope this air after, whenever. So on Wednesday, which is my favorite day of the week, This is the day my daughter was born on, a Wednesday. I love Wednesdays. 3 is my life path number. That is the 3rd day of the week. I'm taking a motherfucking mental health day. I booked me a hotel.
Yes.
I'm having a staycation at the W. I'm going to just be in there.
Yes.
Not doing nothing. But I need that. In my calendar, my planner on that day, it say me. Because I gotta remind myself that I take on a lot of people's shit, and I'm not gonna forget me ever again.
Yeah. Oh.
And I'm going to make sure that I pour into me, even if that means I gotta schedule it days in advance. And this is something that I tell my clients: schedule time for you. Put you on that fucking calendar, even if it's 1 day a month. This is my day. I'm not doing nothing for nobody else. I don't give a fuck. I don't. Even if it's an hour. Even if it's an activity. Even if it's something like puff and pose. You have something to look forward to. Something that is solely for you. I'm all about me. And unapologetically, and I don't give a fuck.
And that's it. And guess what? You know why? Because she's not your average professional.
Nope.
And I think that's it. That was a mouthful. I think that's it. You gotta come back.
Of course.
You gotta come
back. Wow, we're gonna Lotus Bell, so come to me.
Yeah, so at any given time, Ameera could pop up. Yeah. But I'm so grateful that you're here. So for your time, I do have.
You got something for me? Oh, thank you.
Because on your self-care Sunday, you took the time to come and, just grace Lotus Living with your presence. And I so enjoyed this conversation. This is real and raw, and it is what Lotus Living is about. Yeah. But I just really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Girl, how you girl, I love books. We
good. Well, there we go. Look, it's all in alignment.
Yes.
I truly appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
So Lotus Living, I have defined it. It is transcending existence by intentionally creating and sustaining a well-balanced lifestyle, overcoming adversity, and contributing to the well-being of mankind while embracing the evolution of who you are meant to become. I hope that
I love that.
You continue to live in such a lotus way, and know that you will continue to do great things for women, for children, for our adolescents, for our young people, and just for humanity's sake as you evolve into just you. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This
is Lotus Living. I'm sure. Peace out.